sister. His sister. 5 years. Okay. 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 Everything right.
Did you see me go from Pack to Berry Baker?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Yeah. For a long time. I've seen that.
More about brother and sister, right?
Not as well behaved as I
I
am.
just said to Linda, I'm gonna, you know, they retired at me, and I know she's retired at me, so I'm gonna miss that. Not all the time, but
She'll find
she
another
did a
way.
couple weeks ago.
She'll find another way.
Hey, Danny's up there, he'll have her in stitches. I just didn't want to bring her. He's a good man. But, he just forget. She's never forgot. In 19 years, I was great. And I take him, I don't take him. But he saw that he was with me the other night. I know. Oh.
And then Tommy's gonna supplement. So they don't go far anymore. Because of the library. They just.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you. We've done that. Look at Phil. He's close.
He's the tallest. Is he?
It's right there as well. Yeah, they're gonna catch up to me, so they're taller than me. Not you. Traveling team, he's playing JV.
Smallest picture of somebody. Between Chase and then there's Kristen going to see another picture of her. It's his birthday.
I know.
Did you talk to your mom?
I just, I let her know you were here.
Right.
Yeah, so I let her know
How far is she from you?
5 minutes.
Five minutes. She's probably-
Does she drive? Just, and, you know, we're doing the, bank coffee and stuff together, so.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
Today's service for Jody, we have family and friends. Starting our service and leading our service will be Ed McClements, who counseled and sat, had wonderful conversations with Jody. He's going to lead our service.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. A sad time, and yet it's a happy time, because we can celebrate a wonderful, wonderful life. Somebody God has given graciously a beautiful family that she enjoyed. I'm with Sunrise Church and Ministries, which is something brand new that Jody was instrumental in beginning. I'm probably the person who knows Jody for the shortest period of time, 15 months, I think. I met Jody at a sunrise service just 1 year ago. And it was out at the American Legion here in Stillwater. We as a family have held sunrise services in California and now here in New York for a number of years. And it's a thrill to get different churches together and see the whole Christian family come together in that way. On this Easter Sunday, we had actually 5 pastors, ministers that were there, all participating. And what they contributed happened to touch Jody's heart at that point. The message was pretty clear. It was that Jesus Christ loves you, and he wants a personal relationship with you, a personal relationship. The next day after the service, Jody called Joan, my sister, who's been a close friend, and she said, I want that relationship. I want to feel that close to God. So she asked that Jody, or that Joan and I come and say a prayer with her the next day, and we did that. And many days after that, I gave Jody a copy of something everybody in our family has been reading for years, and I just recommend it so highly. It's called Jesus Calling. It's just a daily devotional. And it's one that's filled with encouragement for your day. And God's love is there. And Bible scriptures are there. It's very short and very beautiful. And she would read that every day, and she would call Joan and tell her that it really inspired her to have the strength to face what she was facing. Jody asked that I be here strictly to share her message. She wants you to know that our church, because we've done sunrise services, we wanted to do more. And we've been trying to get a building, which just miracles helped us get. And Jody was so supportive that she became an inspiration really to Joan and I and other family members that are just trying to put down a traditional church, but one that cares about families and children and seniors and young people. One that's just reaching out to be there, to be supportive. The card that the church ended up putting together has just those words. Jesus Christ loves you, and he wants a personal relationship. There is such a combination of sadness that all of us feel, and to try and come up with words that would match people who have done this in the past. It's kind of impossible to do that. But I found 3 poems or verses that I want to encourage all of us just to take a copy of today. It's in the front entrance. And think about it after today, because we're going to face this moment ourselves. We're going to face it with other family members. And we need that kind of encouragement. One of them, need my glasses, at 82, no print. They can't make print big enough. One of them is called She's Gone. In my Christian walk, I'm thinking all the time that God has a path for us. Or you may say it's a voyage. It's a voyage through time and across a lot of waves, good times and bad times. And this poem, I think, captures the idea. I'm standing by the seashore. A ship at my side spreads its white sails to the morning breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She's an object of beauty and strength. And I stand and I watch her until, at length, she hangs like a speck of white cloud against the sea and sky, come down to mingle to meet each other. Then someone at my side says, there, she's gone. I say, gone where? Just gone from my sight, that's all. She is just as large in mask and hull and spar as she was when she left my side. And just as able to bear her load of living freight to the place of her destination. Her diminished size is in me, not in her. And just at that moment when someone at my side is saying, there, she's gone, there are other eyes that are watching for her coming. There she comes. And that's dying. So my heart goes out to all of us. Terry is going to join us, I believe, right now. Terry?
Maria, gratia
For as long as I can remember, Mom always was telling Michelle and I to learn from her mistakes. For as long as I can remember. And as recently as last week, I know it was important for her to make sure that the things she had tried to teach us, we remembered and we got right. Now, all of you knew Mom in a different and unique way, but you know that it was very important to her to always have the last word. That was one of the things that was made crystal clear on many an occasion. And the older we got, the more we probably started to demonstrate that was one of the things she had passed down to each of us. That led to some fun conversations, for sure. But learn from my mistakes was something that she talked to us about early on as kids. And it's something that's always stuck with me. I'm not sure why. When Michelle and I had an opportunity to sit down with Tom earlier this week to look at caskets and talk about today, we had an opportunity to discuss what the casket would look like, including the quote that's on the inside. May the work I've done speak for me. Now, that was not something Mom ever said to us, but when we saw it, we knew that had meaning to us. It's brought us comfort, it's brought us pain, and it's brought us laughter to hear all of your stories about our mom. And it is true that her cookies were the best. And it is true that no one will ever have lines as straight in their carpet. And it is true that, as you saw in the video, her skin never did age. Dove soap and never a washcloth. Never a washcloth. But I need the four of you to know that is not your grandmother's work. Those were her joys, her hobbies, and things that brought her a smile. But that is not her work. Your grandmother is the strongest person I've ever known. What I never understood until recently was she was on the path that God chose for her. And as Ed mentioned, she was a child of God. And my mother was a Christian woman, and I didn't know that until the end of her life. How could she not be? She forgave the unforgivable. She gave when she had nothing to give. She gave when she had everything to lose. She loved with her whole heart. And she was fiercely loyal and fiercely protective. And certainly of my sister and I. The other day, Michelle and I, when I got back in town, we were in Mom's basement going through some of the old pictures. Man, there's some doozies. Now, Mom kept everything and kept it just so. And for as long as we can remember, there was always a gray box, a firebox, you know. If something happens to me, we knew, go get the box and, you know, do X, Y, and Z. And when I tell you there were notes there was detailed notes. You know, if she were to die on an escalator at in the Corning Tower at the state of New York, what to do? Of course, we laughed at the escalator. But there were notes. And when we went through the box, we found folders. Mom had kept all of our report cards. All. Michelle's folder tended to be a little thicker because she was a better student. But for the Stillwater people, you might recognize this name. In 6th grade, my teacher was Mr. McCormick. I still can't call him by his first name because I'm afraid I'd get in trouble. And I recognize now, as the father of 2 kids, that while I thought it was a good thing that my desk was next to the teacher's desk, I now know that was not a good thing. And the fact that he dumped it on me several times probably should have been an indicator, but I miss kids all the time. And the first quarter report card came home, and I don't remember this, but I saw this the other day, and the grades were pretty good, except art. I hated art, still do. And I got a D. And Mr. McCormick, who would put the fear of God in anybody, wrote, "I really wish Scott would focus as much of his attention on art as he does the other subjects." Now, for the Stillwater people, you may remember back in the day, these report cards were printed and came home in this manila envelope thing that your parent had to sign and send back. And there was a little box for comment. I do not remember this, but found that manila envelope. And the parent's signature was there with a note. And the note said, "Not everyone can be good at everything, including art. Scott's gifts are music and the other subjects. Jody A. Wiley." I know of no one who would ever say that to Mr. McCormick, but I now do. And that was our mother, fiercely protective, fiercely loyal, and she instilled that in us. We're grateful that we had the 44 and 50 years
Shut up.
that we got with our mother. And I hope that as you think about your own childhoods and the times you've gotten with yours, that they're as special as ours has been and was with us. Every child deserves that. Nothing less. And there's a lot of pain and a lot of sorrow. But we all know who was waiting first when she got there.
Amen.
And she has waited a long time for that. And so we are at peace knowing that she is where she needs to be, with whom she needs to be, catching up